Let's examine relocating to Europe for a lifestyle reason that's so bizarre, so unique, and so fragrant you'll be able to imagine it with your nose. And no, we're not making jokes about the French. It's licorice, specifically salty licorice, the ammonium chloride sinus clearing kind that clears a room in 3 seconds. Most of the planet thinks it tastes like punishment, but if you're one of the people who just cannot get enough, I have great news for you. There's a whole belt of countries across Northern Europe where licorice is the local standard, and I'm going to show you exactly where to live to be surrounded by your own kind and the visas you'll need to get there. Because where you live comes down to 2 things, what you want and what you're allowed. Today we're proving even the strangest want has a real and legal path. And don't worry, even if you don't like licorice, these visa paths are open for you too. 7 countries make up what people actually call the Salmiak belt. Every single one of them is Schengen, so if you're pursuing a long-term stay to obtain a European second citizenship, you're on the right path. And of course, it makes weekend getaways across Europe and crossing items off your bucket list a lot easier when you already live there. Academics at the Disgusting Food Museum in Malmo would cap the list at 6, but Northern Germany earns the 7th seat on our list based on candy tradition alone. Today we take a licorice look at Germany, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Finland, Iceland, and the Netherlands. 7 completely different visa routes. Some are easy, some will make you work. And at the very end of this list is an 80-year-old Marshall Treaty Agreement that creates one of the most powerful routes into Europe we as Americans have. A permanent gateway that we build for our clients constantly, whether they care about licorice or not. It's just that good. We're saving that one for the end, so let's go. We start where it's easiest, both the licorice and the visa, Northern Germany. The Germans took the most divisive candy on the continent and made one structural decision nobody else thought about. Shape it like a fish. Specifically, Katjes salzige Heringe, which translates as salty herrings. Semi-soft black salmiak pieces molded into little herring shapes, because if you have to steal someone's homework, why not create Swedish Fish Nightmare Edition? Now, Katjes has been making them since 1910 from their factory in Emmerich, right on the German-Dutch border. And the packet has a herring printed proudly on the front, so there's no mistaking what you're about to commit to. The official tasting note is intense. So, how do you actually move there? Germany hands freelancers a genuine on-ramp. The Freiberufler visa, a residence permit for what they call liberal professionals, lawyers, doctors, IT consultants, journalists, designers, translators, language teachers, and a long list of similar trades. There's no fixed minimum income, but you'll need to prove you can cover roughly 9,000 to 12,000 euros a year plus rent and health insurance. American, British, Canadian, Japanese, Korean, Australian, and New Zealand passport holders can enter Germany visa-free for 90 days and apply for the permit at the local foreigner's office without even having to go home first. The initial permit is for 1 to 3 years and it's renewable. Health insurance is mandatory. The bureaucracy, though, is real. About 40% of applications get rejected for paperwork errors. But if you bring 2 letters of intent from clients and a clean revenue forecast, we think that you'll clear that particular hurdle. Hamburg in particular has become a popular landing pad for English-speaking freelancers. Germany lets you settle in and stay. Our next country only lets you visit, and it's the strangest near miss on the whole list. Iceland. The Icelandic trademark is opal, flat pasties sold in iconic pop art tins since 1945. And here's the part that nobody outside of Reykjavik knows. Opal didn't start as a candy. It started as a throat lozenge, an Icelandic answer to the British V for victory cough drops. Today it's manufactured by Nói Sirius, the Reykjavik family chocolate house that was founded in 1920. But here's the better story. In 1984, an Icelandic factory called Freyja invented Dramur, its chocolate poured over licorice straws. In 2002, Iceland took it one step even further and gave the world Djúpur, a small chocolate-covered licorice ball. Hold on to that, because when we get to Denmark's now famous luxury licorice brand Licorice by Bulø, which was launched in 2007 and has conquered the world's airports since then, the founder reportedly got the idea after tasting this Djúpur. Stealing homework is apparently common in the licorice belt. Now, Iceland does have a real digital nomad visa, which sounds great until you read the fine print. The maximum stay is 180 days. It's non-renewable. After it expires, you have to wait a full 12 months before you could reapply. The income requirement is 1 million Icelandic krona a month. That's roughly 7,000 US dollars every single month in income, evidenced by employment contracts or signed freelance agreements. It's one of the highest income gates of any digital nomad visa on earth. So it's accessible if you're earning money, but it's a 6-month sampler. It's not a landing pad. It's not a permanent place. Iceland wants you to visit, but not move in. So If Iceland slams the window shut at 6 months, our next country is the first on the list to offer a real seat at the table, if you can earn it. Norway. The Norwegian classic is Nidar IFA, soft black Salmiak pasties on the market since 1930, named after Ivar F. Andersen, an opera house singer from the early 1900s. He endorsed it then as a throat remedy. It became a national candidate, and his signature still sits on every box a century later. And additionally, if you want your salt licorice in boat form, and apparently Norwegians often do, Nidar also makes Skipper, the country's best-selling licorice brand, a chewy black licorice molded into little boats. The visa, though, hides a catch right in its name. The independent contractor visa requires a contract with a Norwegian client, not a remote employer overseas, a Norwegian one paying skilled worker minimum wages according to Norwegian law. The income floor is around 350,000 kroner, roughly 36,000 euros per year. The permit runs for up to 2 years and renews. And here's the real upside. Stick around for 3 years and you qualify for permanent residency. Stick around for 7 and you qualify for Norwegian citizenship. That's a genuine long-term path. Norway also has Svalbard, the Arctic archipelago that's technically visa-free for everyone on Earth. You can land there and live without permission from anyone. The catch, though, is you need a Schengen visa to transit through mainland Norway to get there. And Svalbard is one of the most expensive places to live on the planet. So it's a loophole, not really a plan. Now, moving directly east, hopping over Sweden, we land in Finland, where they don't just eat their licorice, they drink it. The Finnish move is Salmiak kokosen korva. And if you think that was a good pronunciation, let me know how you would pronounce it. This is what it looks like. I'll post a link in the description to a native Finnish speaker pronouncing it for us all. Let me know how you did in the comments. Now, it's known as salmari to its friends. It's a pre-mixed vodka and salty licorice sold by the bottle and taken socially and seriously. This is the spiritual home of Salmiak, where tolerance for the stuff is practically a competitive sport. Now, Finland will gladly have you, but they're going to make you earn it as well. There are 2 routes. First, the startup permit, where Business Finland evaluates your idea and greenlights it only if it's innovative and globally scalable. So restaurants and consultancies don't qualify. That gets you a 2-year permit and fast-track processing inside of 2 weeks if your idea clears. Or there's the regular self-employed permit, which requires a profitable Finnish registered business and at least 1,100 euros a month in personal funds. Both work, but both demand actual business operations on the ground. Finland asks a lot, but it's possible. The next 2 countries are the most demanding on our list, Sweden and Denmark. You'll love their candy, you might not love their visa regimes as much. Sweden has Jungerviral, or Jungle Roar, the green Malaco bag with a cartoon monkey on the front, the licorice that Swedish children dare each other to eat at recess. Denmark, meanwhile, went in the opposite direction entirely. It gave the world Licorice by Boulot. Yes, the same chocolate-coated balls inspired by Iceland's Jupiter from a decade earlier. Launched in Bornholm in 2007 and now sold in airport duty-free shops worldwide. Sweden makes licorice for children. Denmark makes licorice for boutique hotels. Both are excellent, but neither makes their immigration system any easier. Sweden's self-employment permit demands Swedish clients on your books before you apply, as well as 50% business ownership and around 20 grand in the bank. Viable, but the strictest on our list. Denmark doesn't even pretend. No remote worker route, no freelance pathway. You either land a Danish job offer above 68,000 euros per year, or you get a startup approved by their business authority. If you're in the licorice tribe and you want a real long-term landing pad, I recommend skipping these 2 because of everything that we've covered so far, the easy German freelance route, the Icelandic teas, the Norwegian long game, all of that has been building towards one country and one extraordinary program that's accessible to every American. Now, in addition to putting way too many vowels in every word, the Dutch eat more salty licorice per person than anywhere else on Earth. 5 pounds per person per year. 3/4 of the country considers it a daily essential. The trademark form is dubbel zout drop, which I'm reliably told is Dutch for double salt licorice. The heritage brand is Venco, founded in 1884, the one with the unmistakable red and yellow packaging in every corner shop from Groningen to Maastricht. The classic ritual? Keep a tin of munt drop coins on the desk and pop one in between sips of coffee all day long. Now, in addition to excessive vowels, there's also an obscure piece of paper from 1956 called the Dutch-American Friendship Treaty, or DAFT for short. Signed as a part of the Marshall Plan, it gives American citizens a preferential immigration pathway that Europeans, Brits and everyone else in the world does not get. Here's the deal. You're an American. You register a self-employed business in the Netherlands. You deposit 4,500 euros into a Dutch bank account. That's it. That's the whole financial requirement. You get a 2-year residence permit. You renew it once and you're at 5 years in total, long enough to qualify for a permanent residency or a Dutch citizenship depending on your appetite and your actual level of commitment. Your family can be included. Your spouse can work. There's no language test for the initial permit either. The Dutch Immigration Authority ran a streamlined pilot in 2026 that cut the application timeline to about 6 to 8 weeks. So if you're an American with any kind of freelance income, consultant, designer, developer, writer, DAFT is the cheapest, fastest, most generous European residency permit on the menu today. 4,500 euros buys you a permanent pathway into Europe. This is the route I told you about at the start. This is the one that we build for clients constantly, whether they care about licorice or not. The only reason it isn't talked about more is it's been hiding in a 70-year-old treaty that most people forget exists. And now you see why we saved it for last. So here's the move. Grab a guide or book a planning session. If I can design a perfect visa plan for a licorice aficionado, I can design a perfect plan for you. You know where the link is. The right bag of candy makes it all possible. I'm Brad with Evolution Expats. I'll see you in our next video.